Hey, what's up, good people? It's your girl KB. You know what I do, and you know why I do it. It's Sunday morning. It is 6:02 in the a.m., and it is October 1st. I'm speaking in hushed tones because the household is asleep, but that doesn't stop me from doing what I need to do. Amen. Yesterday, I did a video, and I entitled it A Higher Waiting. You know, because we have a tendency to talk about seasons and our callings, our purposes. And we have a tendency to forget that sometimes we're called to wait on God. And we, being creatures of immediate gratification, can't seem to do that. We can't do it in peace. We can't do it without grumbling. And we can't seem to do it without getting in God's way. We suffer from "are we there yet" syndrome. And we declare ourselves healed because primarily we don't want to do the work. Because in doing the work, we strip ourselves of the demons we become familiar with. Amen. I want to talk about this follow-up that I've entitled "You're Getting in the Way." And in talking about it, I want to bring three names to mind: Abraham, Isaac, and Ishmael. Not that the women involved in the story are insignificant, and that would be Sarah and Hagar. Amen. So I've named them as well. Now, Abraham is considered, I want to say, the father of the organized Jewish faith. And what is not common knowledge is the person of Ishmael, but I'm going to get to that. Abraham and Sarah wanted kids, but they were advanced in age. So they entertained the conversation, much like Eve. Surely the Lord didn't say. So they decided to have a child, to create this child with the bondservant, Hagar, because they couldn't wait. Because they decided to help God out. And then 13 years later, Isaac was born. So, saying all that to say, Ishmael, by all rights, was the child who was entitled to the birthright, the inheritance. He was the firstborn. But that didn't happen. So, now two things have happened. Abraham and Sarah got ahead of God, and Abraham and Sarah violated the law of the land. Now there's two infractions right there. And when you get ahead of God in your movements, when you decide you know better than God in your movements, you've already engaged in sin. Amen. You know, when you read Hebrews 11, it talks about by faith the things that happened. But I want to ask, where's the demonstration of faith in moving ahead of God? And then where's the demonstration of faith in violating man's law? Amen. The character defects were present right there. And in getting ahead of God, the things of God do not mix with the things of the world. So there was conflict in Abraham's house. And Abraham cast out Hagar and Ishmael. But God being God, he provided covering for both. Amen. There's another instance of covering. Now, what we don't know about Ishmael, or we overlook in our studies of what happens after they're cast out. They're cast out into the desert. And Ishmael is considered one of the pillars of Islam. Amen. He goes from Jewish descent to the desert where he adopts Arab faith. You see how closely connected we are. And you see the things that divide. When you neglect the rightful heir, you create a bitter birthright. I want us to be mindful of that. Ishmael was the rightful heir based on the standards set. So now we have game-changing action and rule-changing action. And that's what sin does. And we create another generation of something. What is shaping your faith constructs? Is it betterment or bitterness? Amen. I want us to look at our actions and how they shape what we say we believe. And how we reinforce our beliefs based on the actions of others. And I know some of you are saying that's not me. But I want you to think about this classic line that I tend to focus on. I forgive, but I don't forget. or just because I forgave you doesn't give you access to me. What shaped that opinion? Because Islam is a religion of peace, and Christianity, for all intents and purposes, is a religion of love. Peace and love go together. But they were created from a split. Rooted in man's disobedience. And I know some of you are shaking your head. If it weren't true, then why is there need for covering? We have an innate inability to wait. We have an innate inability to trust. It takes self-discipline for us to get to that place. And it takes a God to cover us in our self-discipline. Again, I want you to think about the waiting and how and why you would possibly get in the way of the higher waiting, the call to wait. Is what you're seeking, what you're pursuing, is it going to bring life?